Number 1. 8-sided pyramid insanity. This is one of those facts that, when stated, will cause people to hate on you and attempt to pompously correct you on, but is genuinely true. Like tomatoes being a fruit, that the biggest desert in the world is Antarctica, or that French people are actually quite polite. Okay, that last one was a lie, but get this. In 1940, a British pilot discovered that each of the 4 sides of the Great Pyramid were actually split in 2 by a concave indentation, creating 8 equal sides. Even weirder is that these discrepancies are only detectable at dawn and sunset on the spring and autumn equinoxes when the sun casts its shadow. This means the Egyptians had a solid understanding of the solar cycle and advanced mathematics, but this still doesn't explain one important aspect of the discovery. Why is it only visible from above? Who is this a demonstration for? Their gods? Ancient big-ass ballers? Or a mysterious other? Number 2. Earth, not Egypt. One thing that stands out amongst pyramid-building cultures is that they all possessed advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and the Earth's geophysical properties. Basically, they were antiquity's greatest nerds, except without the distraction of Star Trek fan theory and Japanese tentacle porn. There are even similar-looking pyramids in Italy, Giza, China, and South America, which are all themselves strikingly similar to Cambodian temples and Indonesian structures. It's like someone just pressed copy and paste a whole bunch of times and hoped no one would notice. Well, just like your college professor, yes, we did notice. How can all these cultures build in such a similar style during one particular period of Earth's history when most of our architecture differs so greatly from country to country? Some people point to the idea of a theoretical hive mind, a global collective consciousness which helped different races form the same ideas without ever contacting each other. This kind of societal consciousness has been seen in the animal kingdom. Could we humans all be connected too, in some way? But in a way far more efficient than the human centipede? And is this why we've built the same unnecessarily large structures around the world over and over again? Or perhaps was there some other reason? Number 3. Giant tombs stamped everywhere? Now let's think about that a little bit more. No bodies have ever been found in the Great Pyramid or many of the other thousands of pyramids, say, for instance, in South America. The absence of corpses, which is a great band name, by the way, has been attributed to grave robbers and archaeologists taking anything that wasn't nailed down. Although the idea of stealing a corpse is kind of weird to me, that still doesn't explain why the pyramids didn't contain burial items such as a sarcophagus. So what gives? Did they just change their mind? Maybe it's like the time you buy your friend an awesome gift, then realize you want to keep it, and so then buy them something crappy. Imagine I'm saying this part in an Egyptian accent, which I cannot do. Yeah, sure, Pharaoh. We'll bury you here. We promise. Don't you worry about it. Pinky swears. What? He's dead? Party at the pyramid! Woo! Okay, but if they weren't constructed as tombs, then what was the point of the pyramids? Number 4. Their purpose? It couldn't have just been big things are cool. Some speculate they were used to store grain or valuables, but any theory that believes these amazing structures were just ancient K-marts is far too dull to explore. One interesting idea looks first at where the pyramids were built. The Egyptians constructed the Great Pyramid in the geographical center of the Earth, along specific lines of latitude and longitude, almost perfectly oriented to the 4 points of the compass, facing true north more accurately than any structure built before or since. Did they have knowledge about untapped magnetic energy centers of the Earth and try to harness it? Or something else equally as insane? It sounds like a pretty crazy idea. One credible theory, though, actually unites the pyramids of the Mayans and Egyptians with the incredible mathematical knowledge needed to build them. Pyramids from both cultures have been specifically aligned with certain star constellations. The pyramids of Giza and Teotihuacan both reflect and point to the constellation of Orion. And it's no coincidence. Both cultures believe that the stars were themselves gods. But then again, I guess so do we, considering how much people pay for a piece of tissue full of Tom Cruise's tears. Not only did they believe that the stars were gods, but that their gods actually came down and visited them from the stars. That's where that belief came from. Number 5. Secret rooms and passageways so unexplored, I'm furious. Beneath the Sphinx and within the Great Pyramid, sonar and radar technology has uncovered a few ancient secrets. They are believed to contain many small passageways which have lain untouched by man, making them the exact opposite of Miley Cyrus. So far, we have only uncovered a few of these, yet it seems strange that such a vast building would be used to house only a few small corridors and tombs. What is interesting is the lack of willingness from the Egyptians to explore these areas, though. A famous Roman geographer named Strabo reportedly found a previously unknown south entrance to the pyramid 2,000 years ago. Modern theorists claim he was mistakenly identifying the north entrance, but the guy was a world-renowned map maker. A world-renowned map maker. That's like a doctor checking you for strep throat by shoving a camera up your butt. It is simply a mistake a knowledgeable man would not make. So what do these secret rooms and passageways contain? Perhaps with more exploration and hopefully permission from the Egyptian government, we will eventually find out. Not only were the pyramids in South America built in the same way and style as those in Egypt, but many utilized identical measurement systems. And as we've already discussed, they lay on important lines of latitude and longitude. Is it out of the realms of possibility that one particular culture wanted to spread their ideas far and wide, traversing the endless oceans of the globe to spread the word of their one true God? Sounds a little bit like, Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on the door of ancient civilizations just as they were about to get in the bathtub. Imagine me with an accent right now. Hello Mayans, Hindus, would you like to hear the teachings of our giant cat lord, the Sphinx? No more accent. Obviously, to accomplish this would have not only required the crossing of thousands of miles of land and ocean, also the ability to instantly command the respect of local people to build them. I mean, geez, it's hard enough asking your neighbor to borrow their power tools. You try getting him to build you a 400-foot high pyramid and see where he sticks that power saw. So were all these commonalities across ancient cultures and across the earth just due to chance? Number 7. Ancient pyramid building civilizations interacted? Now there are many theories regarding contact between old and new worlds pre-Columbus. The similarities in cultural items and the composition of pyramids found in Peru, Egypt, and those built by the Olmecs of Mexico have been noted by mainstream scientists. Is it possible they somehow made contact? We don't know a great deal about early Central and South American navigators, but we do know most Egyptian galleons at the time. The chances of them making their way over to South America using their ordinary fleet would be as likely as Nickelback releasing a decent song in the next century. However, King Sahur of Egypt was known to have commissioned ships as large as Christopher Columbus's Santa Maria. Now, he could have just been building huge boats to make up for his own personal shortcomings, or perhaps he had another intention. The Egyptians were expert designers and mathematicians. Could they have really traveled that far? Other African fleets, such as Mansa Musa's Malian explorers, claim to have tested the limits of the Atlantic Ocean, and some artifacts found in Mexico do bear resemblance to the African people. Then, in the 20th century, new scientific techniques enabled us to detect traces of nicotine and cocoa on Egyptian mummies. Nicotine and cocoa, which can be turned into ... cocaine. It looks like the ancient Egyptians were quite possibly getting high. Now, the more likely explanation is that they're using the cocoa for something else, but much more importantly, cocoa and tobacco are both only native to the Americas. But since they're so popular today, apparently, I mean, who knows how far indeterminately the Egyptians may have traveled in their quest. That is, assuming they traveled by boat. Number 8. Extraterrestrial Pyramid Party. Both the Mayan and Egyptian cultures record gods coming down from the sky to give them instructions to build the pyramids. But many cultures claim such meetings with deities and spirits. In fact, my local preacher claims to shake hands with the Lord every time you give him $10. Joking aside, he's basing even that claim on how God in the Bible came down from the sky and gave man instructions. And let me ask you a question. What comes down from the sky thousands of years before the Wright Brothers were even born? What, birds? Rain? So, what other theories support an extraterrestrial influence? Perhaps we have to look at the sudden growth and development of pyramid-building cultures. In both Bosnia and Sian in China, large pyramid structures have been discovered, which were originally believed to be hills. We already know that the ancient Chinese were intellectually advanced at the time, and guess what? So were the Illyrian people of prehistorical Bosnia. The Egyptians, the Mayans, the Chinese, every civilization with a history of pyramid building has been more knowledgeable and innovative than their contemporaries. Is it always the case that the most intelligent people build these giant desert triangles just for fun? Or is there another element at play here? Because you have to admit, when randomly selecting people from around the world to build the same mathematically astounding structures in perfect alignment with each other for no reason at all, it does look a little too suspicious. Who or what could have been potentially guiding these people?